Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Sagittarius January 29, 2023. You tend to favor close relationships and domestic activities much of the day, but you open up and are ready to share as the day advances. Nevertheless, it's all too easy to communicate ahead of yourself or carelessly today with Mercury's transits. It may be better to observe and build confidence in what you see or feel, largely because your head and heart are doing two different things today. Others might oppose your plans or compete to communicate and sharing ideas rather than listening to one another. It may be best to dial things back when and where you can. Your personal and romantic life has likely been a bit of a whirlwind in recent years, especially since 2018. This is because the Great Awakener planet Uranus is making tracks through your solar house of true love, romance, and passion. On the one hand, singles have likely had an exhilarating time meeting unique, eccentric, and visionary people. However, the thing about these people is that they most certainly do not want to be caged or controlled. Couples have likely felt this energy around surprises to explore new levels of pleasure or hobbies together, or even around children. Focus on what you need in your work and life balance. Something said about your schedule or priorities might hit you where it hurts when Mercury in Capricorn squares Chiron in Aries. As a hardworking sign, you try to do it all in your career path and personal life. But it might be time to reconsider what you want to focus on during this square, especially if you feel called to spend more time at home or with your loved ones. Do not be afraid to put yourself or whatever will make you fulfilled first. Venus might have left your income sector yesterday, but her legacy and her confident sense of what's possible lives on. This is thanks in part to the resolve and determination the planet of money left you with, but is being bolstered as a friendly aspect between the Sun here and Mars in your work sector starts to build. The position of the heavenly bodies supports you with energy to really act on behalf of others. You enjoy the feeling of helping other people succeed against the odds. However, you must also pay attention to yourself, otherwise you will quickly grow resentful of what others have that you lack. This is called affliction. To avoid being afflicted, make your diet and exercise the priority no matter what. When you take care of yourself physically, you notice all your other needs more readily. Take some time to consider the personal relationships in your life right now. During a day like this, relationships that are questionable will naturally come into question for you. You need to be as good to yourself as you can be, and if this means letting go of a connection that is not working for you, then so be it. Remember that with most every ending, something new will be born. Take care of yourself. It is just as a clash between planets on the home and career front starts to separate and the moon moves on from a position where it may have exacerbated any work and life balance tension over the last few days, the moon returns to a playful and creative part of your chart. All of a sudden it makes sense, for while the moon will simply add to the growing momentum on the playful and creative side of life's fence, something exciting is building on the income and job fronts. It has never been more important to have the right work and life balance. Thanks to the moon, Venus' first full day in your communication sector and her mission to give your heart and your relationships a voice is getting off to a good start. It begins with the moon's return to your romantic sector today, something that promises a romantically charged weekend and a chance to give your heart a voice. It is early next week that the moon's return to your relationships sector will capitalize on a chance to also give your relationships a voice. Our eyes in the sky. Mercury in Capricorn squares off with healing centaur Chiron, currently in Aries. This transit gives us a chance to understand and process the deep wounds that need to be healed within ourselves. Also, we might feel moved to check in on those people who aren't in a good emotional place and show that we care. Being there for others in their time of need is extremely important now. Action you take today may significantly annoy someone else in your workplace. Other people's moods are going to put a damper on you and your work, but this is no reason to slow down or change course. Continue on regardless of others. A tendency to push yourself forward creates an adverse impression with the people you meet. Even if it's not intentional, your attitude disrupts any potential for things to run smoothly. Try to restrain yourself. Otherwise, you're unlikely to impress anyone since your boastful manner makes you seem conceited and unapproachable. Full of positive energy, the composure you're able to show is obvious for all to see and indicates that your mind and body are in total harmony. Allow others to share in your positive outlook. Try to get them to join you in your regime for healthy sporting activity or exercise routines. You find you're a good motivator. Are you in need of money to invest in new projects? Then go ahead with your plans, because circumstances are favorable. Friends who give you advice are being honest with you for the most part. If you want to purchase something, you can do it now. You will make the right choice and won't be misled by sales staff. In the pre-dawn hours, Mercury in Capricorn squares off with Chiron in Aries, making communication a challenge. Today's events cause us to feel insecure or ignorant. Instead of backing off when we experience a conflict, we double down. Others fail to understand our logic and our worst fears become a self-fulfilling prophecy, that we may not know as much as we think. Ultimately, forcing ourselves to overcome misunderstandings or projections makes us better communicators. But it won't feel like it today. Not until we have some distance from our current dilemma will we be able to understand its significance. You're not making the headway you think you ought to be making, feeling confined you want to make some changes to your life. You need to put the new ideas and plans you have into action. Don't delay any longer. If you share your thoughts and ideas with those closest to you, you're able to rely on their steadfast support for the future. You may find yourself rushing from one place to another. People demand your attention and want to involve you in their conversations. The sound advice you can contribute, provide the necessary impetus required to implement new schemes or ideas that result. Take some well-deserved leisure time for yourself. After sunup, Mercury opposes Pallas, the goddess asteroid of sacred wisdom, in Cancer. This aspect is a frustrating complement to the Mercury-Chiron square. We feel inept and unable to visualize a path forward in our predicament. It appears there are too many hurdles to overcome to anticipate any kind of victory. However, because Pallas is currently retrograde, we are encouraged to reconsider our plans without stressing over their future implementation. Back up and get perspective. The more you push your point, the less headway you are going to make. Consider a holistic approach to this issue. Perhaps you should be listening and empathizing more than speaking.